Miner and Cookie here from the Golden Family.
What's up?
And today we are checking out a video on SuperHorrorBro's channel. We're mainly doing this to get us ready for the Resident Evil 4 remake that we will be getting soon. We don't know if we should get the deluxe edition or the normal one. Let us know in the comments. But remember when we played the demo? Alright. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Hey, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video,
Let's skip past the intro first. Alright, we think we skipped past it. Let's do this. Ganados. That's something we all commonly see. Found a lot of them.
The most common enemy type found during Leon's adventure are the Ganados.
Ganados.
Who come in many forms.
That's what they're called,
Ganado
Ganados.
Ganado is Spanish for cattle.
Okay, that makes sense.
I actually knew that. Ganados are controlled like mindless livestock by Los Illuminados cult leader Osmond Sadler, after becoming infected with a parasite known as Las Plagas. More on that later.
I thought it was Las Plagas. Alright, now we got Ganado villagers.
When Leon begins his adventure in the village of Valdalobos, he first encounters the villager Ganados.
That's what the village is called?
To kill him. They are made up from both male and female inhabitants, and attack with a range of weapons including Molotov cocktails, hatchets, pitchforks, knives, and sticks of dynamite.
Wow.
They will also attempt to grab Leon and hold him in place.
They also fight with chainsaws too, don't forget about that.
To land that fatal blow. The Ganados attack in large groups and can easily overwhelm both Leon and the player if they don't have their wits about them.
Okay, now we got chainsaw Ganados. Remember that, dude? Remember?
A far more deadly and powerful version of the standard villager Ganado comes in the form of these chainsaw-wielding maniacs. They have both male and female variants. The male chainsaw Ganado is known as Dr. Salvador.
This dude's a
wears
pain.
A sack over his head. Holes cut in the bag reveal his infected eyes.
What does he look like?
Salvador will charge the player while swinging his chainsaw about wildly. Any contact with the chainsaw results in an instant death, so it is paramount to keep our distance.
Okay.
Though the chainsaw can be parried with Leon's knife, but doing so breaks it in the process.
Interesting, right?
The female counterpart to Dr. Salvador comes in the form of two sisters known as the Bella Sisters.
I thought they were known as the Chainsaw Sisters.
And while fairly slow, are devastating in close quarter combat. And much like the Chainsaw Man,
Leon is incredible, isn't he?
They are allowed to get too close. Their faces are wrapped in bandages, hiding their no doubt hideous appearance beneath.
No doubt. Alright, so now we got Zealots. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. One of my favorite characters is... Yep. One of my favorite characters is El Gigante.
Sadler's most loyal followers and assist Lord Ramon Salazar in the castle overlooking the village.
What, Gigante?
Usually dressed in black robes, these zealots attack.
It means like
torches,
giant or something
maces,
like that.
Scythes, and crossbows. Some even come equipped with wooden shields, which must be shot through or around to land an attack. All this makes these zealots tougher to deal with than the standard villager enemies.
Interesting, right? Okay, now we got Zealot Summoner. Okay, an ad. 2, 1. Okay, there we go. The ad should be over. Okay. Zealot Summoner. Okay, another really cool character. Remember this, dude?
There are also robed enemies adorned with
enemies?
masks who
Plural? There's more than one?
These are known as summoners and have
I thought it was just the one dude.
Speed up the infection rate of a Plaga parasite within a host, causing them to hatch.
You shall not pass!
Because of this, it is important to prioritize takedown of these priest-like figures ahead of other enemies before they are given time to flex their supernatural skill set.
Flex. Okay, Creminates. I don't know how to pronounce Combinites.
When Leon reaches the military compound located on the island towards
I remember this in the original.
He comes into contact with soldier-like Ganado known as combatants.
Combatants,
These Ganado
thank you.
wield far more powerful weapons, which include stun batons, crossbows, and rocket launchers. They also wear armor plating to protect from gunfire, which must be shot around or blown off before any damage is dealt. All of this makes these militant Ganado far more lethal than their villager and cultist counterparts.
Bruh. Okay, now we got Brutes. We are all very familiar with the Brutes. How much of a pain they were.
The final Ganado enemy type are the super strong Brutes. While the brutes only show up on a handful of occasions throughout Leon's journey, they certainly leave an impression when they make their appearance.
Yeah, with the amount of
Brutes
ammo
wear
they take.
pigskin masks over their faces and are extremely tall and muscular. Their great strength allows them to swing giant hammer-like weapons around, and later, during the island stages, to wield Gatling guns which mulch Leon in a matter of seconds.
Jeez. Las Plagas. We're all very familiar with Las Plagas, right?
The catalyst for all the terrible events that befell the inhabitants of Valdalobos and its surroundings can be traced back to the Las Plagas parasite.
Las Plagas
Las
parasite.
Plagas, roughly translated to English, means the plague.
I knew it was a plague of some sort.
How this parasite works.
Isn't that interesting, Cookie?
The plaga works by finding its way inside a host's
So we could
body
play in Roblox
and
or something.
itself to their nervous system. After just a matter of days, the plaga rapidly grows through stages A, B, and C. When it reaches stage C, it is able to control the host completely, as well as communicate with other infected beings. And
so you're saying about at the beginning of the game it was already at stage C.
It can even dispel eggs from the host's skin, which are then consumed by animals, spreading its reach further still.
Jeez.
Once Osmond Sadler, the leader of
Ugly man over here,
learned of the Plaga's dormant location deep within the caves of an unnamed island off the coast of Valdalobos, he had it excavated and weaponized, spreading it to the nearby village and infecting local lords, so he could gain influence over the region and begin his
that explains Salazar's thing.
We witness the various stages of Plaga growth in the wide range of monstrous enemies we encounter.
Jeez. Okay. Plaga I can't pronounce that.
Guadana is
the
stage of Plaga transformation.
Oh, I remember fighting with these dudes in the original.
Tendrils burst from the neck of a host alongside a long bladed tentacle. This blade has great reach and can easily stagger the player from a distance, though a perfect parry can also stagger the Ganada in return. The best way to deal with these mutations is by throwing out a flash grenade.
Flash grenade? I better collect some of them then.
Though a blast
whenever we're playing.
Powerful weapon such as a magnum or shotgun will also do the trick.
Ah, okay. I'm thinking when we Plaga multiple. Thinking when we play
the Mandibula are highly dangerous forms of Plaga mutation.
Mandibula.
An enormous growth spouts from the host, and the parasite splits open to reveal a gaping mouth full of razor-sharp teeth, which can now chomp down on its prey, instantly killing them. Its reach is less than the Gadana, but its attacks are far more deadly. If Leon doesn't have a flash grenade to hand, then we must shoot directly into the Mandibula's open mouth to quickly dispatch it.
I'm thinking when we play, we might skip past everything, including the thing. The fight Plaga Arena.
If you suffer from arachnophobia, then the Arana variant is surely the most
Arana, that's what it was.
All Plaga parasite forms.
I think it's ugly.
Looking
Look at that thing.
A bit like a facehugger from the Alien franchise.
Yeah, it does count like a facehugger.
Freaks move quickly and attach themselves to a suitable host. Using a tendril protruding from the sac on their rear, the Arana quickly gain control of their prey and will use them to rush the player.
Jeez.
To combat this, we must quickly shoot the Arana off and then kill it before it has time to reattach. These spidery critters also attack Leon face on, so don't
face
get
on.
too close.
I'm pretty sure the song is called Face Off. That was a joke. Okay. Kamos.
We spoke earlier about how
infected
the
dogs.
Infect animals as well as humans. There are only a few examples of this.
Just use your shotgun on them. It's easier. I have Resident Evil. Can you turn it down, please? I have like Resident Evil 2 knowledge, so that's how I know how to defeat these things.
Have enormous razor-sharp teeth and
Jeez.
wide mouths. This is fitting as Colmilos is Spanish for fangs.
Carmalos.
The dogs will leap at Leon and try to rip pieces from him as they do so. They
Jeez.
can also pin him to the floor, and we must quickly counter with a knife attack to break free. When they upgrade to their more advanced form, the Colmilo, a giant bladed tentacle bursts from the canine's back. This tentacle can whip and impale the player, so it is important to quickly down the mutt before it manages to land an attack.
Down the mutt. I'm gonna make a mutt joke if we end up fighting these guys. Okay, Gorador. I hate this guy.
The Garadors are a result of the inhumane experimentation conducted on prisoners of Ramon Salazar in the depths of the castle. These experiments underwent physical enhancement through the use of Plaga, which resulted in extreme aggression and hostility toward their creators. Because of this,
then why are they fighting us?
Sewn shut, so they could no longer see, and they were chained up in the
That's
dungeon
hilarious.
and left to rot. However, this procedure simply led to the evolution of the Garradors, as their hearing grew more acute.
That dude is massive. Look at him.
Sight. They now rely completely on sound to locate their prey, which can be used to Leon's advantage during combat. The Garrador's main attack comes in the form of slashes from the two large sets of claws attached to their arm braces. They are dressed in armor and their face partially hidden behind an iron mask. Because of this, the only way to defeat a Garrador is to target the parasite growing from its spine. Shooting or knifing the Plaga will eventually lead to the downfall of this powerful monster, and luckily we only encounter a handful during Leon's adventure.
That's lucky. Armadura? I don't know.
The Armadura.
Oh, Armadura. Okay, now I know.
Armor. Well, not quite.
These guys are awful.
They are in fact suits of armor inhabited by the Plaga, which have grown like creepers throughout the inside of the suit. Therefore, they are able to walk these suits of armor about the castle, attacking with swords and axes. To defeat the Armadura, we must shoot the exposed parasite, which stuns it, and bring the knights to their knees. Then, Leon can kick the helmet off, exposing the Gadana living inside the suit.
Thank God.
While playing as Ashley, we are unarmed and so must use the light of a lantern to freeze the advancing Armaduras in place. There is also a more powerful golden version of the Armadura, which must be vanquished as part of a merchant side quest.
We may have to fight this guy eventually. Novice Toros or whatever.
It wouldn't be a Resident Evil game without some kind of killer bug.
You're right, it's been like since the first Resident Evil game.
With locust-like monstrosity, the Novistador.
These winged
creatures originated from the Los Illuminados' bioweapon experimentation with the Plaga organism. Human genes were spliced with those of insects, and the Novistador was the end result. They hover about, waiting for the perfect moment to swoop down and attach themselves to their prey, attacking with long, clawed arms. They can also swim through water, launching a stealth attack from...
I know they can go invisible, I do know that.
The Novistador is even able to camouflage themselves to blend in with various surfaces, such as rock, concrete. So, be careful where you step while exploring their nesting grounds.
Well, good thing it has a dot sight, so it's easy to find. Regenerators. Okay, hated these things.
The regular enemy types is the scariest of the bunch, and only appears on a few select instances while exploring the lab and surrounding area during the late game island chapters. Known as the Regenerator by fans, but correctly labeled Regenerator, these monstrous experiments
Isn't that the same thing?
are able to regenerate after their body parts are blasted clean off. They can even wiggle around on the floor and attack.
Oh, that is horrifying.
They also elongate their arms, stretching out to grab their victims from afar. These were some of the most advanced bioweapon experiments created under Los Illuminados, and were the result of multiple parasites being implanted inside a human host.
Wait, can you use the thermal scope in the original? I'm gonna have to try that eventually.
Regenerators while using the infrared scope. The Plaga must be destroyed in order to finally kill the Regenerator host, and so using this special scope to locate them is key to our survival. Some Regenerators can even evolve after death and grow into a spiky variant known as the Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden,
These
we looked at this dude.
Versions are red in colour and use their porcupine-like bodies to impale anyone who gets too close. After the final parasite has been destroyed, the Iron Maiden will stretch out and explode, sending its spines flying out in every direction.
That's cool.
Now we've taken a look at the regular monster types found throughout Resident Evil 4. Let us turn our attention to the game's boss type enemies as we wrap up this rundown video.
Okay, Del Lago. The lake monster.
Del Lago, meaning from the lake, is a giant Plaga experiment that inhabits the lake surrounding the mountain village we explore throughout Leon's ordeal. It is the result of the Plaga being injected into the body of a once harmless salamander.
Really?
After infection, the
salamander
grew to an enormous size and was sealed inside the waters of the lake to guard the village from outsiders.
Just remember, I saw this dude's gameplay on the demo before he played it.
Ravenous appetite, locals fed it the bodies of the dead.
That's
While
brutal.
exploring the lake by boat, Leon comes into direct contact with Del Lago and must defeat it using the harpoons stowed aboard.
Okay, El Gigante. This is the one that you were talking about.
El Gigante, the giant, are few and far between, but certainly make a big impact on the few occasions we encounter them.
It's one of the little trolls. That's where that skull was from?
Conducted by Sadler's cult, Los Illuminados. Plaga parasites were placed inside these wretched souls while still human, causing them to grow into angry and uncontrollable giant mutations. Due to their risk and unpredictability, only a handful of these giants were ever created, spread throughout the region.
The way how these dudes kill you is brutal. They grab a hold of you and then like twist you in half basically, and then throw you on the ground. They don't rip you in half though, so it's not that bad.
To defeat these giants, we must shoot them until the Plaga parasite emerges from their back, then focus our attacks on it until the monster falls. We first encounter El Gigante after returning from the lake in Chapter 4. If
I remember it being in like Chapter 5.
The bear trap at the beginning of Chapter 3, then this faithful companion will join him in battle, greatly leveling the playing field against giant number 1.
Why are you scared? Don't be, I'm right here. Yeah, Cookie's getting scared. El Gigante is ugly, isn't he?
The second encounter comes during Chapter 8, while exploring the castle battlements. El Gigante hurls boulders at the player as they race to reach a cannon, which is then used to defeat the mighty monster.
Bruh.
Our third and final run-in with these giants pairs 2 of them up in an enclosed arena during Chapter 11, as we explore.
I remember fighting these dudes in the original, but like it wasn't in with Lewis or Luis or whatever we're gonna call it.
Into the molten liquid below. Though if you're a glutton for punishment, you can opt to take them down the old-fashioned way.
Nice. Fortress. Okay, another ad. Alright, the ad is over now. Fortress Salazar. I mean Mendez. I keep saying Salazar. Torres, that's what it is.
Who used Las Plagas to convert both Mendez and his congregation into followers of Los Illuminados.
Interesting.
Mendez, now under the control of Sadler, carries out his bidding, and was responsible for Leon himself becoming infected with Las Plagas after injecting one of the parasitic eggs into his body.
Interesting.
Mendez was also responsible for the imprisonment of Ashley Graham, who was
I thought it was Krauser.
in the church until she was later freed by Leon. Mendez is an intimidating foe, standing roughly 8 feet tall.
8 feet,
towers
jeez.
over most other men, and the Plaga gives him incredible speed and strength. He dresses in a long trench coat and wears a top hat. This look drawing striking similarity to the appearance of the tyrant enemy Mr.
Tell me that he does not look like the tyrant. Both of which ugly foes.
X from Resident Evil 2. Eventually,
right.
Leon becomes trapped in a barn while fleeing the village with Ashley and is cornered by Mendez, who transforms into his evolved parasitic form after he is blown up with an explosive barrel. During this evolved form, Mendez uses a wide variety of attacks spread across 2 separate phases. In the first phase, he'll grab at Leon from above, as well as swiping from great distances with his elongated arms and razor-sharp claws.
Just like in the original.
In phase 2, Mendez separates from his legs and becomes far more mobile as a moving torso, swinging from the rafters as he hurls flaming posts at the player and lunges forward to attack.
Okay, sorta like the original. Only in the original he didn't throw things.
Finally falls.
And the ending was different. Verdugo or something like that?
Verdugo. Spanish for executioner.
Executioner.
That's quite the fitting
What?
name for this next
Executioner was already in like Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil Resident Evil 8.
2 Verdugos were created to serve Ramon Salazar as guardians within the castle. One was created from Salazar's housekeeper and the other from the lead scientist himself.
Take a guess on who is who. Alright, moving on.
Initially, we encounter them hidden beneath cloaks, but later, during a grueling battle in the narrow confines of a castle laboratory, their true form is revealed.
Bruh.
The Verdugo has large claws and a hard, spiny outer shell. It whips at its prey with a long, bladed tail. It also possesses both great agility and high intellect, moving
Nice.
quickly in and out of the many vents and ducts placed throughout this claustrophobic environment to track its victims as they flee. In order to destroy the Verdugo, we must freeze it using liquid nitrogen.
Are we sure it's
Then,
liquid?
while
That looks more like a
frozen,
gas.
blast the creature with our most powerful weapons. Eventually, the Verdugo
For me, it was an
explodes
infinite
into a
rocket
sea of
launcher in
icy
the
shards,
original.
ending its
But that was like
rampage
only
once and
after you
for
beat
all.
it.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
Ha! It's the one lines that get me. Ramon Salazar. I think everybody loves him.
Ramon Salazar is the
Loves
8th
him.
Castellan of the Salazar family, and second
Ugly
in
man
command
over
to
here.
diabolical cult leader Osmond Sadler. Despite his elderly appearance, Ramon was born in 1984.
84.
And as the story of Resident Evil 4 takes place in the year 2000,
The year after
this makes
83.
Salazar just 20 years old. His small
Jeez.
stature and aged appearance come from two factors. You see, when Ramon was a child, he became very sick and was due to die before reaching adulthood. This sickness twisted him into a bitter and sadistic child with violent tendencies.
Now I
At
can
this
see
young
why
age,
he's the
Ramon
way he
was
was.
approached by Sadler and offered a way to survive by allowing
Really?
his body to become host to the Plaga parasite. Once infected, Ramon himself became a loyal follower of Sadler, believing him to be a prophet and Los Illuminados
It was
for salvation.
Krauser.
Ramon used his power as Lord to command the local villagers to excavate the castle ruins where his ancestors had sealed Las Plagas away. He
Okay.
then handed the parasite over to Osmond Sadler, who began using it as a bioweapon to strengthen Los Illuminados.
Los
He then becomes part of
Illuminados.
Sadler's master plan for world domination, leading to his hand in Ashley's abduction and infection during a ritual held within his castle.
Please, do continue.
I'm praying they still have that thing where like he shoots into like that horn thing,
Do not resist.
almost giving Ramon tinnitus.
To make you suffer all the worse.
You remember that in the original? Oh my, that is, it is so bad what they did to her.
Aquí nos despedimos, Señor Kennedy.
Ramon
¿Qué
Salazar
coño?
functions differently to other infected because
Excuse
he was
my language.
granted a very specific strain of
Oh
the
my-
parasite,
right through the
which allows
heart.
the host to retain control. However, during a
Oh.
confrontation with Leon, Salazar is shot in the head, and at this point merges with the Queen Plaga and mutates into an evolved form. While in
Jeez.
this form, Salazar appears as a growth within the Queen Plaga mouth, a Venus flytrap-looking creature able to
Does
swallow
kind of like a
Leon
Venus
whole.
flytrap.
The Queen Plaga darts about the arena, using its long squid-like tentacles to latch onto walls and ceilings and move around at a lightning speed. It
Bruh.
spews out black liquid that explodes upon contact. To defeat Salazar's evolved form, we must shoot the pint-sized villain when the
Pint-sized
Queen
is
Plaga
right.
opens her mouth. By doing so, this twisted mother figure loses control and falls to the floor, at which point we can move in to deal Ramon a devastating
Oh,
melee
right through the
attack.
eyeball.
Rinse and repeat
Resident
this
Evil,
process to eventually
7
fell
right
the
there.
Queen and her petulant cohort.
That's seriously what the end looks like of that boss battle? Have you noticed that almost all boss battle, Jack Krauser, almost all boss battle, it's Nan. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Almost all boss battles end in him, the dude saying Lord Sadler. Anyway. Jack Krauser. I don't think this one does.
Once Leon's old commander while he trained in the military, Major Jack Krauser since became a mercenary for hire, aiding Osmond Sadler in the kidnap of Ashley Graham, as well as infecting himself with an advanced form of Plaga in order to gain superhuman strength.
Oh man.
Krauser defaulted after he felt the US military turned its back on him following a horrifying
Look at that
assault
fighting
mission
skill.
which led to the death of most of his squadron. Only he and Leon Kennedy survived. Now Krauser is only out to serve his own bitter agenda, and he makes this very clear upon running into his old cadet.
You think I'm doing all this for revenge? Isn't that what this is all jungle, I had a revelation. The most important thing in this world is pure, unadulterated power.
I wouldn't go that far.
Most Illuminados have given me that.
We fight Krauser 3 times during the story of Resident Evil
3,
The first
jeez.
encounter sees Leon take on Krauser in a knife fight, which takes place in the mines beneath the Salazar Castle. We must protect both block and parry in order to emerge unscathed, as Krauser is a knife combat expert.
Oh
The
man,
second
that's
encounter
interesting.
takes place on the island during chapter 15. Here,
Good thing he has a
Krauser fights both
thermoscope.
Leon with knives and guns at long range. Using his Plaga abilities to rush about at super speed and to leap about the surrounding ruins with ease. He also sets traps for Leon to fall foul of in between
That looks like the
encounters.
thingamajig. What is it called?
The third and final encounter follows on from Fight 2. Now desperate, Krauser gives in to the Plaga inside his body and evolves into his parasitic
Ugly
form.
man right
his
here.
arms grow into a shield and sword-like mass, and so we must dodge, block, and melee to break through these defenses. After a long battle atop the temple ruins, Leon is finally able to fell his old major and put him out of his misery.
Oh. It's kind of brutal, Leon. Okay, Osmond
Last but not least,
Sadler.
we have the ultimate evil and leader of the Los Illuminados movement, Osmond Sadler. Originally, Sadler was a bioweapon researcher, working close to the isolated mountain village of Valdolobos. However, once he learned of the Plaga parasite sealed below the Salazar Castle, as well as below the fortress of the nearby island, he formulated a plan to take control.
I just want to go ahead and say it. This game right here gives off a lot more lore than the original one did. Just thought I'd mention it.
And all local authority, and then use their influence to help excavate the parasite. Once in his hands, Sadler used the Plaga in his experimentation, harnessing their power and infecting local residents to form his cult, Los Illuminados. He wished to use this cult to help realize his ultimate goal of global military control. Sadler's master plan was to kidnap the president's daughter, Ashley Graham, and infect her with the parasite, then returning her to America, where she would spread the infection to her father.
No.
He could then use the Plaga hive mind to control the president himself like a puppet. Thankfully, due to interception from Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong, as well as interference from his own scientist, Luis Serra, Sadler eventually falls. We only fight
Did she end up shooting him?
Once, an epic encounter against his own mutated form.
Okay,
After transforming
mutated
into
form.
this gigantic spider-like beast, we must avoid Sadler's devastating jump and swipe attacks, as well as the hordes of Navistador he commands.
Oh, I hate
and
those
acid
things.
goop he spews. While evading these attacks, Leon must blast an ever-increasing cluster of giant eyeballs that sprout across Sadler's grotesque body. Shooting out these eyes fells the monster and allows us to rush in for a damaging melee attack to his head. Sadler eventually evolves into his final form, where he floats in a glowing orb inside a cluster of enormous tentacles. These tentacles must be avoided as they slam around, attempting to flatten Leon like a pancake. Eventually, Ada comes to our rescue, throwing a rocket launcher.
That's way different than it was in the original.
Explosive weapon that one-shots Sadler and ends the fight in an instant.
Not an instant. There's still this cutscene right here.
I'll give you a holy body.
Another one-liner. Let's go. Oh, by the way, I should have warned you guys. There was going to be spoilers. I should have warned you guys at the beginning. Sorry. That was cool.
And with that,
okay, I think that's the end of that. Okay, so here's a thumbnail of that video over on SuperHorrorBro's channel. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Go like and subscribe to this dude. And on that note, this is Miner and Kookie signing off.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.